So let's talk about the habits you need to have that can make you healthier versus the opposite, all right? I mean, who wants to be sick all the time? Especially we're heading into retirement, folks. What you want is the best life you can get. Now, there's some habits that everybody does every day. Most of them not good. And you need to be looking at what's the better habits to have. So let's start out with the big ones. These are kind of lumped together, but any avoidance of smoking, drugs, and excessive alcohol can add decades to your life. It's even shown that just quitting early enough will give you back some of the damage because you got time to recover. Your body reheals. I've heard people say that it rebuilds itself every 90 days, give or take, something like that. So it's you can definitely undo some of the damage if you stop early enough. It's kind of like saving. If you start saving early enough, you can compound that interest. Well, it's the same with your life. As soon as you start getting healthier, you compound the health benefits too over time. So obviously right up the alley with that would be to eat healthy and stay active. And one of the things you need to do every day, and I make a point of doing this, is that I intentionally try to get 8 to 10,000 steps a day. There's no real magic in the number. It was made up to sell shoes, by the way. So it's not really anything magical about that number. But studies have shown that if you get at least 7,000 a day, you start to really get some health benefits from it. And at some point, it becomes diminishing returns. So anything over 5,000 is definitely a plus. And if you can get up to 7,000, 8,000 a day, you're doing pretty good, and it reduces a lot of the all-cause mortality that's associated with just having bad health. Not to mention that's great for your ticker. I can tell you that's one of the habits I started doing a long time ago because of my heart conditions. And I'm not saying that that's what saved me or anything, but I'm 20 years into having congestive heart failure and being pacemaker dependent and still thriving, kicking butt from compared to most people. I'm considered a phase one high. I can't remember the way they told me at Chicago Med, but basically it says I'm a high, doing very well for my condition. So it just goes to show you that healthy habits can make a difference. All right, so another important thing that a lot of people don't think about is having a life with some purpose to it, and having some kind of a community tie, because having community means having you have support around you. I think that's one of the reasons that 55 plus communities are so popular, is because as people age, and retire from the workforce, they tend to lose track of, and socialization goes away from not being with those people they worked with. And 55 plus communities always have a lot of very active environment going on. They always have activities for the people to do to meet each other, and that's why they thrive. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you have to have, is being that kind of a community. However, having that kind of a connection makes a big difference, and having a purpose in your life really, really matters, of course, because you need something to get up and do and live for. Anyway, let's move on. Managing your stress. This is a tough one for most people, and I'll tell you why. Because especially as we age, you got a lot of things to worry about. You're worried about your health, you're worried about your finances, you're worried about the economy, you're worried about healthcare costs, you're worried about gas, you're worried about your car, you're worried about your money lasting. A lot of stress. So to compound or to help solve that issue is you need to get some better quality sleep. And this is another one of those pointers that we need to be talking about. Get good quality sleep. It has a huge impact on your lifespan. Being sleep deprived long term is not good for you. However, just like some of the other things that we talked about with smoking and bad eating and whatever, you can compound the recovery efforts by getting better sleep. Now, it's still time, and your body can do amazing things. So give it a chance and try to manage that stress better by sleeping better. Put those things that are bothering you on the back burner. Do the right things to make them more secure, and that will make you more secure and make you sleep better. All right, so my other point I want to make here is to be conscientious, because the skill set that comes with being that kind of a person is being disciplined, being hardworking, being organized and thoughtful with your choices and decisions. Sorry about the bugs, they're crazy out here. Be responsible and be accountable, because a person who holds himself accountable to everybody, and then therefore reflects the same thing back to others. You expect them to be held accountable, and you expect to do well for them. So I think it's a good idea to use these things and practice them, excuse me, and think about that a little bit. Be accountable, be disciplined. Part of getting up and going to work every day is having the discipline to get up and go to work every day. I know a lot of people that have horrible discipline. They can get through things, but they don't get up and do the same things every day. And that's because they don't have the discipline. And I realize nobody wants to get up and go to work. I get that. I don't want to do it either. Hey, I'm 1,100 miles away from my real home and my wife and my family, aside from my mom and my son up here. It's where I'd rather be. Do you think I want to get up and go to work every day knowing I got to do another year apart from them? I don't, but I have to go to work every day because that's what I took, that's the responsibility I have. So being disciplined to get up and take advantage of those opportunities matters, and it should matter to you. And finally, I just want to say this. If you're not taking care of yourself, who's going to take care of you? Because you can't count on the government to do it. You can't count on loved ones to do it. We hope that at least our spouses will do so if we have a spouse. But you got to take care of yourself, and that's what matters the most. And these healthy habits are important if you want to enjoy that retirement time. The rest of the things will work themselves out, but if you're not healthy enough to enjoy it, you're going to be the richest man in the graveyard, as they say. And that's definitely not my plan. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of this. We'll see you next time.